Praise the Lord, everybody. It's good to be back with you this Wednesday evening. It's an honor to be with you as always. Thankful for what the Lord has been doing this week. This past Sunday was our second Sunday of having our Sunday school classes, our Christian education, everything working for us at 10 o'clock in that service. I am really enjoying myself there with that adult Bible lesson. It's really a joy to be a part of that. We are in a series on your greatest enemies, and the last 2 weeks we've been talking about the flesh. I believe this week we'll be talking about the world. But nonetheless, that is fantastic. We're having a great time there. Come, bring your children, bring your young people, and get them involved in their classes, and we're having a great time with that. I did want to say that Monday evening we were able to bring Dad home. He was gone for, this was the longest he'd ever been away from home. I think it was 7 weeks. And he came home, and physically he is really doing fantastic. And they got him thinned up and trimmed out, got the water off of him, got his heart and lungs and everything functioning well, and he just really looked good yesterday. Was unable to spend time with him today. We also had our funeral with Brother Jerry Jacobs Sr.'s funeral at the church, and that was really a beautiful service. It was quite a testimony to his large family, which many of them spoke and had a lot to say, and just a lot of singing and a lot of worship, and it was an honor to be a part of that. And we just have learned to love the Jacobs family, and the hand of the Lord was just really strong upon the service, and we thank God for that. Also, this coming up this Saturday is our first district, United Pentecostal Church Pennsylvania district event. We are having our it's our spring conference that we would normally have in the spring or at summer at camp, but it had been moved all the way back to here because of the COVID situation. But we will be having our elections, and all the licensed ministers are supposed to be there, and they'll be electing a new district superintendent. And I spent 10 years, a little over 10 years in that position, and I believe the Lord is allowing me to move on and really focus our efforts on having revival here in York. We thank God for that. Having spoken at the funeral, I really started kind of getting moved in this direction, talking about what we should be doing as saints of God, to never forget that you really don't know when you're going to take your last breath. I was reading in James here where it says, "Draw nigh to God, and he will draw nigh to you. Cleanse your hands, ye sinners, and purify your hearts, ye double-minded. Be afflicted and mourn and weep, but let your laughter be turned to mourning and your joy to heaviness. Humble yourselves in the sight of the Lord, and he shall lift you up. Speak not evil one of another, brethren. He that speaketh evil of his brother and judges his brother speaketh evil of the law and judgeth the law. But if thou judge the law, then thou art not a doer of the law, but a judge." And he goes on to say, "There is one lawgiver who is able to save and destroy. Who art thou that judgest another?" In other words, we have no right to be in judgment of one another. We're here to not speak evil of one another. He said, "There is but one lawgiver who is able to save and to destroy. Who art thou that judgest another?" And then he made a warning. And this is something we got to be careful about, because it's easy to just forget these things. He said, "Go to now, ye that say, today or tomorrow we will go into such a city, and continue there a year, and buy and sell, and get gain." Because James says, "Whereas ye know not what shall be on the morrow, for what is your life? It is even a vapor that appeareth for a little time, and then vanisheth away. He said, for that ye ought to say, if the Lord will, we shall live and do this or that. But now ye rejoice in your boastings. All such rejoicing is evil. In other words, you're bragging about what you're going to do. You're talking about what your plans are. And he is saying, you need to say, if the Lord will, this is what I plan to do. But if the Lord will. Because really the Lord determines it all. He holds our future. He holds everything about us in his hands. And he said, therefore, to him that knoweth to do good and doeth it not, to him it is sin. One of the things that caught me in this verse, and I'm not going to hold you long, I'm very exhausted today. It's been a busy day, a long day. But one thing that it just really caught me here, he said, purify your hearts, ye double-minded. And double-minded is something that just absolutely God does not put up with. Earlier in this, either in this chapter or earlier in James, he says, a double-minded man is unstable in all of his ways. And here in this, he says, cleanse your hands, ye sinners, and purify your hearts, ye double-minded. If you are kind of struggling between two opinions as to whether to serve the Lord or not, to whether to do right or not, as to whether to be faithful or not, as to whether to be prayerful or not, as to whether to be a witness or not, and you have this double-minded thing going on in you, God will not put up with that. He either will be Lord of all or not Lord at all. And he makes it very clear here. If you want to please him, if you want the hand of the Lord upon you, you cleanse your hands, you purify your hearts, and you get rid of that double-minded thought process. He's looking for people that have chosen to serve him, that have chosen to be a Christian, that have chosen to be people of prayer, that have chosen to walk with him, that have chosen to just go after the Lord and search after him, and to become all that they can be for him. If there was ever a day to focus on that, it is now. There is so much going on and so much turmoil that people have felt the confusion that is in the air. And God is not the author of confusion. But the people of God have felt this confusing spirit of the age, of the hour. Not really knowing what to do. Can we or should we? Or is this what I ought to do? Or maybe I shouldn't? Or you got to make up your mind. You are going to serve the Lord. Some of you that might be getting cold in the Lord, you've not been able to be out to the house of God, and these difficult times have tested you and have tried you, and you are getting weary in well-doing. I warn you, I feel a spirit to warn you that this is an hour when you got to make up your mind that you're going to serve the Lord. Because once you do, things get easier. Things are better. It's easier for a child of God that have made up their mind. Nothing is going to cause them to turn back. You want to be ready should the Lord call on you? You don't know what's going to happen. None of us have any idea of when we are going to take our last breath. I just say be ready. Make sure you are ready. Make your calling and election sure. And so that you'll be ready should the Lord call on you. I love all of you. I just wanted to leave this word with you. I thought it was important. I felt it in my spirit. This is a time when you need to pay attention to your walk with God. Make your calling and election sure. Your life is but a vapor. It appears for a little while, then it vanishes away. God bless you. I love all of you. We'll hopefully see you on Sunday morning. God bless.